And our plenary guest basically needs no special introduction. He's the series editor of the Macmillan Books. He's the author of Sound Foundations, Learning and Teaching Pronunciation. He's an advisor in the development of Macmillan English Dictionary, and he's also the former president of IATEFL. Last year we had the current president of IATEFL, Marjorie Rosenberg. I say current for a few more days until this year's IATEFL conference. Of course, he's also the creator of the world-famous phonemic chart, which we know very, very well. Yet, he's never, ever been to Toruń. This is his first time. Please, big round of applause for Mr. Pronunciation himself, Adrian Underhill.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Can you hear me sufficiently? Yes. Okay. If you can't, be very quiet because silence amplifies, I've discovered. I will use the microphone, but I'm going to do a lot of things with both hands. And also you're going to be making some sounds. So, to begin with, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here for my first time in Toruń, as you heard. I've now been here 22 hours. And so far, so good. And it's been very good. And I've had a very pleasant day, so thank you to everyone that I've talked to, and those that I haven't, and also to the speakers whose talks, the sessions I've joined. So yes, I am an ex-president of IATEFL. I'm also an IATEFL ambassador, which means I have to tell you just how wonderful it is for your entire life, not only for your career development, to join and participate in the activities of IATEFL, as I'm sure you already do in the activities of the Polish Teachers Association, also affiliated to IATEFL. All right, we don't have very much time, so I'm going to start straight away. Is that all right? Here's the question. Put your hands up if you quite often, but not always, include pronunciation in your teaching, in your lessons. All right, hands up if you less often. It's all right to put your hand up, it's fine, no problem. If you less often include pronunciation. And hands up if you never often. If you never include pronunciation. That's all right too. Nobody else? So that's where we are, and I'm saying pronunciation is the Cinderella of ELT. What I propose to do is this. Let's spend a quarter of the time, that's 15 minutes, on the background to this approach, which I say is a completely different approach, and which I say, but you would expect me to say that, solves the problems of pronunciation teaching. You don't have to agree, but you just have to listen, and you can disagree or agree. I don't mind if you heckle. If you're very tired, I don't mind if you fall asleep. If you need a massage, I don't mind if you ask the guy next to you. So just, chill and do your thing. And then the other 3/4 of the time, I'm going to do a class with you. And this class will be the class that I would do when putting the chart into circulation. Not teaching the chart, not teaching symbols, I never do either of those, but putting the chart into circulation. This applies the same at all levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, native speaker, non-native speaker, teacher, non-teacher, anybody. So it's approximately the same lesson. It takes a different length, of course, because they're different levels. So, and during that, I'm not only going to do that, I'm going to talk to you as teachers as well as students to try and explain what I'm doing and why. You may have seen some of this before, so I'm going to kind of go fairly quickly through that and try to get onto some other stuff. My aim being, if I don't take too long, to really give you a sense of what's going on in your mouth, so that when you use pronunciation, you can really see what your students are doing and how to help them. My big thing is, teachers don't know what they're doing in there. Native or non-native, makes no difference. So all teachers can say is, hey guys, repeat after me. What they should honestly say is, hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but repeat after me anyway. And that would be more honest. But our methodology does not propose that. It proposes only, repeat after me. as if this is rather a good thing. I don't even think that's a good thing. But anyway, our methodology thinks it's a good thing, and behaviourism said it was a good thing. Behaviourism has been disproved and disapproved of for half a century now. But still, you'll find repeat after me alive and well in every classroom in the world. It's not a sin, but there are more interesting and better things that one can do, I think. And you don't have to agree with that either, but I'll get on to that. So, all right so far? Can you still hear me? Yeah. All right. What I would like is a glass of water. I might need that. One of you yellow people, would you be so kind? I can't read the name tags in here, but I can see that they are yellow. So, without further ado, let's begin. So this is about 5 or 6 slides, which we'll go through which outline the basis of what I want to say. I want to talk about embodied pronunciation, because I think pronunciation is disembodied, and that is the problem. Grammar and vocabulary can be taught cognitively. They are, as a kind of problem solving, a super problem solving. And that's what course books are good at. Lots and lots of interesting and good exercises and activities on essentially cognitive activities, problem solving, vocab and grammar. But pronunciation is a physical activity. It's not even a cognitive activity. It's physical. It's like a dance. It's like a sport. It's like playing a musical instrument. It's like skiing. It's like windsurfing. It's coordination of muscles. It's most like dance. It's an internal dance taking place internally, subtly, with these muscles apart from between here and here. Embodied pronunciation. First of all, it doesn't matter if you put your hand up or you didn't put your hand up. Every lesson is a pronunciation lesson for the full duration of every single second of the lesson. Because, as you know yourself, but we don't point it out enough, any language which you entertain in your head is played in your inner ear or your inner voice. You cannot escape it. Try, but you won't be able to. It is repeated in your inner voice, which is a subtle version of your external voice, and it has a pronunciation. Every language, every word, every bit of grammar you present to your students is repeated internally. It's not even repeated, it's held in a loop, a tape loop, so to speak. And that's a very healthy activity. It's not repeated, it's held. You look up a number in your phone book, and you then go to the phone. How do you hold it? You hold it phonologically. You try it. Watch yourself next time. You look at the phone number, and you say it aloud, or you say it internally. And when you get to the phone, you listen to it internally. After about 10 seconds, it's gone, and you have to go back to it. It's extraordinary. Now, the point I'm getting at is this. Every single thing you do in class is represented internally. If you give the new pronunciation of the new language, that can go into the mix. If you don't, then it will have to be represented in the other available pronunciation, which is probably the mother tongue. So every single thing that you do is represented in a pronunciation. And if you don't teach pronunciation, you do teach pronunciation. But you're teaching new language with mother tongue prompt. There isn't a safe middle course. I'll teach new language, but I won't teach any prompt. That's not available. It's not available at all. Now, if you teach new language and allow mother tongue prompt to go into the synapses, the memory bits, which have like bits of spelling of the word, bits of the grammar connected with the word, bits of the meaning connected with the word, and of course, possibly the sounds connected with the word. If you let that all go into the synapse, and then you say, well, actually, synapses, Friday afternoon, we're going to unpick you, because we're going to show you a different prompt from the one that you registered. You can't retrofit pronunciation. Or this is hugely energy consuming to retrofit pronunciation. You need pron at the point of purchase. Not perfect pron, you need pron with a question mark, which says, hey, this is the word, this is what it means, here's the spelling, here's kind of how you say it, and oh, whoops, something about the pron, we need to watch out for that. And that goes into the synapse. Then what you program is ready for something new. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be perfect, we have to program in that pron is coming. Okay, every lesson is a pronunciation lesson. You can't get away from it. There aren't any non-pronunciation teachers in the world. Pronunciation is alive and well, and mostly teaching the wrong pronunciation. Here's a second thing. Native or non-native, teach your own accent. Okay? RP is gone. There's not many people that speak it, about 5, and I'm one of them. and the Queen's another one. It's a minority language. It was a standard for reasons we won't go into now. Now it is a reference. It's one of the reference points, but it is not the standard. The new correct is not RP, it's not standard American. The new correct is comfortable intelligibility. We're in a global age of global accents and global languages, global Englishes, and the thing is to understand people comfortably and to be understood comfortably. That is today's correct. So that's a shift, all right? Now, it may be you want to go for RP, it may be the student wants to speak like that actor or actress and so on. That's fine, you can do that. You can sound like whoever you want if you're prepared to put the work in. But that's, by and large, not what we're doing in language teaching. We're saying comfortable intelligibility is the thing. That means that you can speak somewhat carefully with your mouth, it also, and even slowly. It also means that your ear has got to be able to listen rather quickly, because people don't slow down for you. So you have to listen quickly, and you have to speak maybe slowly, carefully. You understand what I'm saying? Two models. Speaking model and a listening model. Teach your own accent and expose to lots of others. That's the point. Okay, guys, you're learning my English, but when you listen, when that teacher comes in, listen to her, because it's different. See what your differences you can notice. Dial up on this YouTube thing, this English and that English. There's some really good accent sites that you can go to and visit. It's all out there. It's dead easy. Listen to lots and lots and lots of accents. It doesn't have to be in your materials anymore. If they're not sure what accent is, just get them to mimic their friend who comes from the north of the country and someone else they know from the south and the cousin over there, and just get them to play with Polish accents for a moment, then they get it. Oh yes, well, it's the same in English. The aim is comfortable intelligibility. And the aim is to know what's going on in the mouth. So I want to help my students to know what's happening so they can make it do something different. Something different from what? Different from mother tongue. Different from the group of mother tongue, which has been there since the first months when babbling started and gradually turned into the sounds of mother tongue. So, students need to know what they're doing in the mouth. For that to happen, the teacher needs to know. And in this respect, all native and non-native teachers in the same boat. I'm exaggerating, but basically what I'm saying by way of exaggeration is that no one knows what goes on in their mouth. And proprioception is a word I learned just a few years ago. It took me a long time to say it, but maybe you can say it quicker than me. Proprioception. Proprioception. Did you say it? Proprioception. If you didn't like the way you say it again. Proprioception. Until you get it really cool. Yeah, proprioception. Where's the main stress? Which is the main stress? I think it's proprioception. This is a word from neurology, and what it means is feeling from the inside what muscles are doing and how much effort is going into them. Right? So you need it all the time for everything. You need it for learning to knit, learning to ski, learning to dance, learning to type, picking up a slippery glass, which is wet, how tight to squeeze, too loose and it drops, too tight and I crush it. You know, feedback from the muscles, which muscles are doing what. It's how you know what's going on from inside your body without studying anything, without reading a single book about anything. You can read books about phonology and pronunciation, but that tells you about. I'm not talking about that knowledge. I'm talking about the knowledge from inside that connects you direct with the muscles. Otherwise, you just cognitivize problems. It's like learning dance from a book. You can't do it. It's interesting, but it's not dance. You learn dance by going to your muscles and seeing what they're doing and asking them to do something different and getting guidance from a teacher who can do it better than you. So, two problems, I think, with pronunciation, why it's the Cinderella. And this is the first one. And there's two solutions. The solution number one, you won't be surprised to hear me say, is the chart. And this is the problem. Pronunciation is mysterious. It's kind of floating in the air. What is it? Where is it? How do I catch it? A bit of prom. Where is a bit of prom? Grammar is in a book. There's a sample sentence on a page. Vocab's in a dictionary. There's the meaning. And there's the spelling. But prom, where is it? How do I get it? Especially since I've lost contact with my muscles. My speaking muscles, quite correctly, became automatized when I got hold of mother tongue prom. Now my muscles are in the grip of mother tongue prom. Understand what I'm saying? If I ask you to speak gibberish, complete gibberish, gibberish means not any language at all, but just to make it up. what you will do is you will speak gibberish within the mother tongue phonetic set of your mother tongue. You can't escape it unless you stopped it. Right, I'm really going to do something different. So the grip of mother tongue is everywhere. We have to get behind that grip. You can't repeat your way out of a habit. You need something new, then the practice is useful. Repetition doesn't get you out of a habit. That's big problem. So, how do we, where is the grammar book of prom? Well, of course it's here. Yeah, because this chart is a geographic map. It's a visible, kinesthetic. What you see in one gestalt, all here, is all the sounds of all the words in all the connected speech in all of English. Okay, there are variations inside this box. There's different ways of saying each of those, but that's what there is to be got. You can impose on that different accents, of course, but still, that is the framework. That is the gestalt, the single gestalt, the whole thing in one view. Look, there's everything on one page. See, page 1, the end. There's no page 2. Nothing there. That's all there is. Grammar, page 1000, 1001, 2003. Vocabulary. Now, grammar, prom is all there. That's all there is. And half of those are the same sounds as more or less any mother tongue. So, it also shows how and where the sounds are made, how the sounds shape each other, and that all the sounds are needed from the start. There's no prom syllabus. There isn't a prom, you can't have it. You have a grammar syllabus, more or less. Some people argue it's not a good idea. I argue it's not a good idea, but if it's done and it works, you can have a vocab syllabus. Clearly you can't learn everything at the same time. But with prom, you need everything from the first lesson. And actually, luckily, there's only 44 of them. And even more luckily, you already have at least 22 of them. So it's not a matter they're all perfect in lesson 1, they're all in circulation in lesson 1, and they all get better thereafter together. They have to be together. You can't learn these separate from each other. I'm just going to put this there for a second, I'll just move it out of the way. Look, in case you don't know it, here's the mouth. Well, here's vowels, here's consonants. Here's the mouth, front of the mouth, teeth. Back of the mouth, top of the mouth, bottom of the mouth. Tongue, waggly, waggly. Front of the mouth, tongue goes back. Sounds change. Open the mouth a bit more, tongue front, tongue goes back. Sounds change. Open the mouth a bit more, tongue front, tongue back. The only other variable, in English, as the tongue comes back, the lips go forward. Tongue goes forward, lips come back. That's how English works. There are sounds in other languages which don't do that. French and Scandinavian languages, and maybe Polish, very probably, but English does that. Here, the diphthongs. You don't have to learn these, because if you have these are free of charge. Once you've paid for these, there is no extra charge. You just put two together, and you go from there to there, and you have this. No extra charge. Front of the mouth, back of the mouth for the sounds where we stop and release. Front of the mouth, back of the mouth for sounds where we make a friction and keep going until the breath runs out. Front of the mouth, back of the mouth for ones which come through the nose. And bits and pieces. Which are the two which are like semi-vowels, these two are like these two. The three which join words together in connected speech. These two which are kind of like brother and sister and are confused in some, especially Eastern languages, but European languages nearly always makes them separate. And the odd one out, which is just an aspiration in the position of a coming vowel. It has no place of its own. It nests in the place of the forthcoming vowel. That's it, that's the lot, there isn't any more. Reductions are all on here. Rapid speech is all on here. Connected speech is all on there. Stress and unstress is all on there. Mistakes are all on there. And if a student says a sound which isn't on there at all, I just point here. Or here, or here. Oh, right, okay, cool. We're going to come back to that in just a moment or two, but let's just finish this. So, all the sounds are needed from the start. They all need to be in circulation. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate in a few moments. And there it is. And by the way, that's a British chart. You can do all languages from there, all English languages. But, if you want to get specific, you could make one for Australian English. I made one for American English, which is here. American English, I'm not going to go, it's interesting what's different, but we're not going to go into that right now. This will also do quite well for other rhotic languages. That means to say English where you say the R that is spelt. Scottish, Irish, English, and so on. Okay? So, but it's not necessary. You can still do it all off here. Where's my thing? Problem number 2 is the physicality thing, embodiment, which is what I spoke about. It's a physical activity, and it depends on muscular coordination. That is the thing. Now, therefore, it needs to be taught physically, and that means getting behind the habit of mother tongue, the autonomized habit of mother tongue, so that we can find the muscles in the appropriate section and say to the muscles, hey, don't do that, that's what you usually do. Can you do something else instead? Don't behave on habit. Do it this way instead. And that's exactly what you have to do when you're learning dance. I tried to learn salsa. And my body's just as okay as one from Rio. But it happens that I brought up on European body movements and not on Brazilian body movements. So what have I got to do? Well, I've got to go to my muscles. I've got to find out what they're doing. I've got to ask them to do something different. And you all know that sort of intensity of inner attention when you try to find those muscles and say, will you do something different? Not that. And then you say, look, I don't mind what you do, but just don't do that. And actually that's very good. You just get someone to change in prom, to change their prom, not to any other successful sound, but just to not do what their habit is. As soon as you're free from your habit, you're in the zone of discovering any sound. And that's what I'm going to show you. One of the things I'm going to demonstrate in a moment. I already referred to this, outside knowledge as opposed to inside knowledge. Outside is what you get on a master's course. It's fine. It's what you get on a diploma course. It's fine. It's what you get from reading books and looking at diagrams. It's all fine. But it doesn't connect you with the muscles that do the job. It connects you with the head that thinks about doing the job. And this is the problem. We are in a cognitive world with cognitive education that is included in that, and it sort of works for grammar and vocab, but it doesn't work for prom. That's my big reason why prom is the Cinderella. Our methodology simply has no place for it. It can't fit it anywhere. So it tries to fit it either into repeat after me, which doesn't work, or it fits it into let's talk about it and have some diagrams. And it says, well, what we'll do is we won't do it on Monday to Thursday, but on Friday afternoons we'll have a prom slot and catch up on everything. Won't that be nice? And make up for the fact that we have not been doing prom. But it doesn't work like that. First, because it's already gone into the synapses. Secondly, because what you do on Friday afternoon doesn't work. What are the muscle buttons? Well, this is what if I can reconnect you to your muscle buttons, that means you will connect with 4 things. I call them buttons because if I start talking about Greek and Latin words for muscle groups, everyone just goes to sleep, including me. But if I talk about buttons, well, everyone likes buttons because we're pressing them every day for everything. So 4 buttons, and there are 4 muscle buttons, which if you learn to find them again, you can escape mother tongue and you can arrive at any sound in any language. It's what you did when you were a baby, lying on your back in your cot, babbling. What you did as babbling is that you were putting muscle tone into finding your muscles and building your muscles in your lips, your jaw, your cheek, your breath, your lungs. And you found that by doing this and something here, you could make a sound. And experimented with the sounds, and you found that doing muscle activities at the same time as making the sound would change the sound. And then one day you noticed it was you making the sound. It wasn't just the environment. And then if you've got babies and you listen to them, you notice that suddenly the practice becomes different as they start catching themselves making it and playing. Then they find that some sounds bring mother, and some sounds bring hugs and laughter, and some sounds bring food, and some sounds have no impact on the environment at all. And gradually, those that make no difference are left aside, and the ones that have made a difference begin to stick. And of course, they become the mother tongue. Something, while we're on it, this is not part of my talk, but while we're on it, here's something also very interesting. So, baby's making sound. Mother picks baby up. Baby makes a sound that mother recognises. What happens? Mother repeats it. And what happens then? Baby hears that, and there's a giggle and a laughter and a game, and a sound is played with. But how did that start? Exactly the opposite of what everyone has told you. It is not baby repeats after mother, mother repeats after baby. Baby does all sounds. Mother picks out the ones that she wants, that she recognises that turn her on. And she says those, and in such a way that the baby sees it as a game because they smile. So very quickly, baby homes in on the sounds that are key. And in this way, gradually, the sounds that are needed are rehearsed and practiced and prioritised, and the others are left aside. And once we've got those sounds, which is an effort at first, we have to stay in touch with the muscles to get those sounds, and it goes on gradually disappearing for several years. And once that connection, once the sounds are got, the connection is automatised. Automatisation is absolutely necessary in our growth because then attention can be put on new and other things. Muscle building, walking, sitting, running, and all the rest of it. So it's good that it becomes automatised. Now we come to the second language, we've got to go back and unpick that automatisation. Not to destroy the prana of the mother tongue, but to get behind the grip so we can start new grips, new postures, just like we're learning a new dance. So, I'll stop talking about that and then we'll finish. 4 core muscle buttons. This is the only things that you really need to focus on. And there are those. You already knew that. But how do you actually get students to re-find those connections? That's what I'm going to show you in a moment. 4 buttons. Number 1, the lips, which basically get spread and round and go forward. The tongue basically goes forward and back, but it can go back at the back, it can go up at the front, and it can curl a bit. Essentially, though, it's forward and back. Jaw, basically up and down. It can't do much else. When it goes down, the lips get stretched. And the voice, which is on or off. That's basically it. And all languages work with those. But they become automatised. Your Polish students are using these every day, but they're automatised. We've got to get them to go onto those and de-automatise so we can then make new arrangements, new configurations, new postures. This you already know. No restriction of the airflow. That's the amazing thing is there's no place in the vowels, it's a shape made by lips, tongue, or jaw, and that shape produces the vowel sound with a breath, with a voice. It's a voice breath stream. And consonants, they have a restriction. Something prevents. What prevents? 2 things. 2 things come together, and two of the things available here come together and somehow restrict. And therefore they have a place where those 2 things come together. And those 2 things give it a certain sound. So a consonant has a place, a vowel doesn't. Now I'm going to tell you the end and the beginning, or the end, the third way through. There's my blog. If you want to find out more about this, go to Adrian.Underhill. What? AdrianUnderhill.com. And just Google that and you'll find out lots of this stuff on my blog. If you want to watch loads of videos which are on YouTube, the way to access is either through Macmillan English, pronunciation skills, or on my blog. There's 39 3-minute videos, it's all free, 39 3-minute videos which go through sounds and ways of working with students on this completely alternative to mainstream approach. If you want to get these charts, well, you've got a little one there, but if you want to get a classroom chart, they're free from Macmillan ELT. I meant to get some and bring them here, I'm sorry. But they're available, they're free. If you have any trouble, get in touch with me. There's an app which is good for teachers and students, and it has lots of little games and activities for knowing the charts. There's a book which is quite expensive, but I highly recommend it. You know, if you're still want more, come on my 10-day intensive program in Oxford or Cambridge. Now here's the app. Just to finish the commercial. So it's an ordinary keyboard, and what comes up there is the symbols, and you can hear it, and you're trying to find the spelling. What comes up here in this game is the phonetic keyboard, it's the same as that. What comes up is the spelling, and you hear it, and you try to find the sound, and you hear the individual sounds. You practice all 4 skills, so you can speak your voice in and see how it compares, you can listen, you can read, and you can write. It's just getting you fluent. It's not really none of this is about learning symbols. It's all about learning to feel the sounds. And once you have the sound, to give it a symbol is not very difficult. We are not teaching symbols, but they do learn them just by using them. Anyway, that's enough of that. Now what we're going to do is to shut this down. Which one? Is that one of these buttons? Maybe this one. Let's press this. Not that one. That. Okay. Are you ready? Now, what you've got to do is you've got to find your mouth. So, I'm going to use this. I know it's harder to see than the big one up there, but this is a classroom chart and it works even in a room this size. So apologies to those who can't quite see. You can stand up or sit in the middle or move your chair. Have you found your mouth? Make some silly faces. Well, now, look at me. Here's mine. Now I want you please to say this sound. Say it. Yeah, but long. And high and squeaky. And low and rumbling. Like the wind. Okay, right. So, what you just said is this one. Now, make this sound. Long. High and squeaky. Like the wind. It's this one. Make this. Look carefully. What's this one? What is it? Watch. What's this sound? This is for you. What's this sound here? Okay, stop. What is this one? Okay, look after it. Don't lose it, whatever you do. And this one here? What is this one? That one? Okay, now look, we're just going to go from here to here. So say this. Okay, now listen. Everything I do, all the teaching is asking you questions. So try to notice that. I don't tell you anything, although I'm telling you something now. Say the sound. Put your finger here and your thumb here on the corners of your lips. Say the sound. What are your fingers doing? In, out, yeah, what, some other words. You just listen to the class. What are your fingers doing? Close together. So, what are the lips doing here? Stretch. Other words? Spread. Wide. Smile. Just take the words that work for your class. We don't need technical words. I'm going to use the word spread. And what are the lips doing over here? Round. Okay, let's say when they're kind of round. Like that. Round, kiss, whistle, whatever word comes. What's this? And this one? Round. Now, put your attention in your lips and feel that movement without the help from your fingers. So say this. Can you feel your lips doing that movement? Okay, no big deal. We're just re-establishing. That is button number 1. And now to make sure, say this sound here and put your finger against your lips. Say it. What does your finger tell you is going on? The lips are doing what? Lips going forward. Are they forward here or forward here? Here, okay. And here, if they're not forward, what are they? Back, okay. So here the lips are back. And over here the lips are and okay, put your attention in your lips and feel those two movements. Go. Can you feel it? Okay, so that is button number 1. What's button number 1? Okay, we're just reconnected with that. Now, for experiment number 2, you need a clean finger. So, or you can use a pen. A pen or a clean finger, or your neighbour's finger if it looks cleaner than yours. Check it out. Okay. Now, say the sound. What is it? Okay, say the sound. Now, when you are saying that, where is the tip of your tongue? At the bottom. Okay, kind of close to where? Where shall I look to find it? Just behind the teeth. Which teeth? Top or bottom? Bottom teeth. Is it touching the teeth? Probably not, but it can be. It actually makes no difference. Is it doing anything? It's doing nothing. Is it contributing to the sound? As long as it stays more or less there, it's not making any difference. Now, say that sound. Okay, now, as you say that sound, say it. And this one? Okay, what we're going to do is, say that one. Take your clean finger, you've forgotten about that, haven't you? So like, and your clean, or your pen, and insert your finger until you find the tip of your tongue. So, say the sound. Over easy, have you found it? So, the secret is this. Take your finger to the tongue, not your tongue to the finger. So, say the sound. Find the tip. And open the teeth. Now, that's good. We're going to go over there. And when we go over there, don't lose touch with your tongue. Wherever it goes, follow it. Even unto the ends of the world. Follow it. Say the sound. Find your tongue. Follow it. What happens? What happens? What goes back? The tongue goes back. And the finger. Okay, some of your fingers got stuck on your teeth, I saw. If you follow your tongue, it goes back. How much does it go back? Half a finger. Say this sound. And this one? Okay, now look. Change from here to here really slowly as I move. Say the sound. Stop. Loses muscle tone. Here there's muscle tone, if it stretches wide. Here it loses. It's still a little bit spread. It's not lax, it's not loose. There's tension, it's still fairly closed, same as here. But the lips have come in a bit, there's not the same spread. So that is the mime. Look. And the mimes are not completely accurate. This mime is pretty reliable. This one a bit less so. And with the gesture, I can make this short. But okay, what does this gesture tell you? Long and spread. And what does this gesture tell you here? Long, and lips forward. It tells you those two things. So that's really good. And these two work with anyone, anywhere. And then we're going to look for these two in between sounds. What's this sound? This one? This one? Now, at this point, I'm not expecting these to be correct. I'm trying to put into circulation 12 different sounds. If we get 12 different, that's really good. Then, in subsequent lessons, we start shaping the differences until they become more and more corresponding to the language we're learning, in this case, English. This one? This one? Okay, now look, as we go, I'm going to continue. Speak. Stop. This one? What does that sound? Okay, please bring it here. Bring it back to the chart. So, always recycle sounds. Never get them back. Don't let students leave with this one. Now, one thing I can do is to say to the class, make the sound. And let's just listen to the differences. This is not listen to the correct one. This is listen to the appreciate, enjoy that everyone's a little bit different. So you say what you have for this sound. And yours? Listen to the differences. And what we're putting into circulation is that it's okay to be different, it's okay to experiment. The big deal is not right and wrong, the big deal is explore. The big deal is unhook from the grip, the mother tongue grip. This one? Okay, again, there's probably going to be more differences here for a reason which is probably already clear. Say it again. And I say, now, listen to the differences. You're allowing yourself to change according to what the person before you said. Just try to be with what you thought. Say that one again. Yours again. Say it like this guy. And it pops out here. Oh, say it like her. Say it like him. The rabbit pops out of the hole, but you don't know when or where. Oh, great, that one. And then it disappears again. So, this one. So the model surfaces, and we can group around it for a moment, but it's not absolutely important to be dead right. Not at this point. We're trying to put them all in circulation. So here we have the tongue going back and the lips going forward. Over here. Tongue back or lips forward? Tongue back or forward? Lips back or forward? Tongue back or forward? Is it like that? Lips, tongue, and over there? Speak. That's how English works. When I was learning French as a 10-year-old schoolboy, we had a sound in French. And there's a whole family of sounds around there. Maybe you have one of those or two of those in Polish. Certainly in German, in Swedish, and so on. French. And she couldn't get us to say it. And she kept repeating after her. We said, ooh. 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 We knew it was wrong. We knew it sounded ghastly. But we couldn't change it. We were already, at the age of 10, in the grip of our mother tongue. We could not repeat our way out of a habit. If she had just said, okay, that's cool. If she just said, all right, guys, just say the English sound, this one. Keep saying it gently. Don't move your tongue, but bring your lips right forward to that position. And there you are. You're in the zone straight away. And that's lips forward and tongue forward. We couldn't do that because we're in the grip. It's just an illustration of the grip of mother tongue. And when you have got access to the buttons, the 4 buttons, you can immediately start to reassemble sounds. Do you understand what I'm saying about that? It's just a little example. I think that we had a problem with French because of that sound. Because we didn't master that sound, we knew, though we would never admit, that we always sounded rather stupid speaking French. So we were reluctant. I think if we had got that sound, it would have made a difference. That's my view. Now, we've spent most time going along the top, from front to back. Now what we have to do is to pull down to reveal these sounds. So, try to look like an idiot. What this means is let go of the muscles in the cheek, let go of the muscles in the lip, let go of the muscles in the jaw. Let go. No tension, no muscle tone. And, okay, make the sound which comes. Can we get this? See? It's the idiot sound. So, okay, and stop. And again. Okay. Now, some of you, I can see that some of you are not making because I can see a shape in the lips. If there's a shape in the lips, you've changed it. Watch me, I'm going to do the idiot sound. And as you see my lips move slightly, you'll hear acoustically the sound changes. So here I am. Did you hear the acoustic difference? Already is not it. And all I did is just to close and put muscle tone. That means the lips are slightly harder, and then it changes it. It's amazing. Such a small thing makes a big acoustic difference. So, make the idiot sound. Again. Short, very short. Short. Stop. Very little energy. Okay, the small idiot. And the big idiot? Small. Okay, now try to look intelligent.
We might try.
And And make the same sound. Make this sound while looking intelligent. You're using your lips as you're changing the sound. I can see you've changed the sound if the lips are a bit rounded. Because this idiot sound means there's no muscle tone. Yet somehow, miraculously, we succeed. I'm talking about English people in looking vastly intelligent when we say the sound. Okay, so let go of the muscle tone. That's right. Okay, this one. This one. Short. Shorter. Even shorter. Now, to make it more English, less energy, and slightly more open than you think. Suddenly you arrive. This one. Okay. The idiot, small one. Big one. Now, this sound with lips far forward and tongue far back. The mime is like this. Lips forward, tongue back. This is an extreme sound, and it's an extreme because it's off the map of many languages. Now the tongue is so far back. Here's a technique that I use very often. I say make the sound, or I say make the position. That's it, no sound. When you make the position, you feel a bit stupid. Because making the position without the sound is already unfamiliar. Suddenly you notice something about the muscular posture. So if you just saying take the position, more noticing happens about what you're doing. So take this position, tongue far back. And if you try to inhale, you'll find the back of the tongue is so far back that it sort of stoppers against the soft palate, and you go, do that. And now keep the position and speak. Now your tongue's in the right place. Yeah. And here's a correction technique which I use a lot, is like this. The student is saying, not this one, but the student is saying, or, say, oh, please come here. Okay, she's standing here. Let's tell me that sound again. It's cool. Or, and what do you say? Or, okay, let me learn that. You're saying, or, is that about right? Yeah, or, now, the ball's in my court. What I'm going to do is this. So I'm talking aloud, but it's self-discovery in front of the students. So she's saying, oh, I want to, or, now let me find what I have to do. Oh, I get it. Oh, my tongue's going backward. Oh yeah. Let's see. And my lips are going forward. Now, this is a little soliloquy to myself. I'm not saying that because I've read it before in a phonetics book and I remembered it. I'm saying it by genuinely rediscovering here in front of the students. And what happens is that they all start doing that. And it's not just I'm working with her, I'm working with everybody. She makes the mistake on behalf of us all. And by the end of that, they begin, oh yeah, they're saying, yeah, I begin to see how we can resolve that. Well, I haven't quite got it, but I begin to feel it in my mouth. When you make, like me, this little change from hers to mine, it's like going from here to here. It's like this one, idiot. And can you feel your lips going forward? And can you feel the tongue going back? See, I'm not teaching anything with Latin or Greek words. I'm just saying, go into your mouth, feel what's happening. I've given 2 buttons, which is lip and tongue. Now I'm just playing with sounds and saying, notice what your tongue's doing. There's no sort of difficult stuff in that. This is proprioception. We all have proprioception, or else we can't function. So we're just activating proprioception. Let's go down to the bottom block now. Make this sound. Like a massage. Or like some good gossip. And if they don't get there, I'm going to say, look, speak as if from here. Real deep, it's real open. And you can feel that the tongue tongue is back and down. And you can feel the jaw is open. So this one. Now here's a different one. And you can see the you can see the mime, but you're not exactly sure from the mime because there's not quite enough information. The gesture gives you the energy and the shortness. Something here gives you some movement about a muscle. It's very close, and even within British Isles, people substitute one for another. This one. Now this one, no energy. Everything is gone. All the energy is gone. And yet this one's so close. The jaw is more open, and therefore the lips more open. But this one completely lacks. Slide. Make them long. They aren't long, but make them long so you can slide. Imagine you have a whole orange in your mouth. It pushes your tongue back, your jaw down. Look, short. And you try to round your lips forward so you can hide the fact that you have an orange in your mouth. Down here. So this is the sound, yeah? Not this one. Another one, say it. Yeah, okay, again. It's in that zone, yeah. So that's that one. This one? This one? Okay. Now, the mime here is, you can see the tongue is front. You can see that the jaw is fairly open. And you can see that, and this is what my gesture is saying, that the lips are still spread in spite of the fact that the jaw is open. And because the jaw is open, lips are spread, there's a slight tension you can feel in your lips here, which is this. So say the sound, and it's this one here. Now, put your finger here and your thumb here, and we're going to slide. This one? Speak. What do you notice? Jaw goes down, jaw opens. So that's button number 3. The jaw opens as you go down there. Now, please, come on, you don't have to say anything, just point at these 12 and see what these guys say. Just any of those. Okay. Don't speak, just point. Is the tongue going from front to back, except this time with the jaw open. And meanwhile the lips going forward. Okay, thank you very much. Now, this is how I introduce the chart. I'm not teaching phonetics, I'm not teaching symbol, I just put in a chart with circulation. You don't have to do it this way. If you go to my website, you'll find a dozen different ways of doing it. This is just the way I like to do it. But it's not. I don't think it's the best way. So you see what I mean? That if you pay for these 12, these 8 come for free. No extra charge. 20 for the price of 12. Now, you don't do anything, actually, just wait. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say one of those or one of those, and you tell me 1 if it's 1, and 2 if it's 2 sounds. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 2, 1. can see the difference in monophthong and diphthong. And in fact, of course, in every language, people that are deaf can see what their friends are saying, because language is physical enough. You can't see all the sounds, it's quite true, but you can see a great many of them, and you can induce others from others, you know. So when you speak with deaf people, I'm sure you have this wonderful feeling of them, their gaze on your face. Not in your eyes, which is what the usual look is about, but deaf people, they're gazing at the whole face, they're reading the totality of the musculature. I'm going to say one of these 5, and you point at the one you think I'm saying. And if you're wrong, that's really cool. And if you're right, it's sort of okay. So, and you see if you agree. See? And you're acting on behalf of all of them. Wrongness is very good here. Now, here's the first one. You're behaving like teachers. Now, do you agree with what she said? Okay, now, you have to be quiet until you see what she points at. Once she's pointed, you say what she points. Not what you want her to point, because that gives her no feedback. It doesn't tell her if she's on target or not. Tell her what she points at, then she learns something. Okay? That's always the rule with this child. Whoever's there doesn't speak. Who watches says what is pointed. That's the golden rule, always. You did well. But it's okay. Another one.
Oh.
Say what's your points? And so on. So it doesn't matter what's right, it doesn't matter what's wrong. We are learning. We're in the process of learning. Correctness is not very interesting. Because there's no need for lessons then. What's interesting is the path to correctness. Now, we're going to move on briskly. What's this sound? And this one? Put your hand here. What can you feel? Okay, so this is the voice off and voice on. Here's the voice button, like a light switch. So this one, voice off, say, voice on, off, on. Okay, now what's this sound? Keep going. With the voice, off, off. So this is button number 4. What's button number 1? 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's all you need. You can approach the pronunciation of all languages once you've liberated those 3 from the grip. Now, look at this sound. What are the 2 surfaces used? Which teeth? Other teeth. Which lip? Is it like that? Okay, press hard. Too hard. Okay, make it too loose. Nothing. Get it right. Can you do it with top lip and bottom teeth? Try it. Could be useful in the emergency. It could. It's not fashionable. No. Make the sound. Say. Now, when you're making that sound, where's the tip of your tongue? At the bottom, behind the teeth. Is it doing anything? Now, we're going to say this, but put your attention in the tip of your tongue, and as you say this, bring the tip of the tongue forward to replace that bottom lip. Say this. Tip of the tongue forward to replace the bottom lip. You got that? Okay, this one again. Tip of the tongue forward to replace the bottom lip against the teeth. And you arrive here. So you can easily make this one from this one. Make this again. Slide the tongue back a little bit. Slide the tongue back. Slide the tongue forward. Tongue forward. So just in that little slide, in a few millimeters, maybe a centimetre or so, you can make these three unvoiced sounds. And if we put the voice in, then we have this one. Slide the tongue back. Slide the tongue back. Slide the tongue forward. Forward. So again, those three are connected. And we can find, bundles of sounds by just a small movement. And what you're doing now is getting to know the geography, the territory of your mouth in a very straightforward, completely direct way. Now here's something really cool. Make this sound. Slide the tongue back. Slide the tongue back. Slide the tongue back. Isn't that so cool? Now, why is that? Well, look, here there's a second surface. The tongue is against the teeth. Here's a second surface. The tongue is against the little bit of hard palate just behind the teeth. Here, going further back, it's against the palate, but further back. It's round the corner. Now, when we take the tongue further back, that second surface disappears because the shape of the mouth, it goes away. So now you have the tongue up like that with no second surface. And you get this kind of vowel-like sound. Say it. Kind of English R. Make it strong with the tongue. Yeah. Stronger. Yeah. Quicker. Yeah. Look. Yes. 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 Make it with a strong lip movement. So these two are called semi-vowels because they are made from these two. And then we have these two guys. And finally, this one. Where does the air come from? Nose. Are you sure? Yeah. Pinch your nose. Does it stop? Should do. And this one, look. Does the air come out of the nose or where? Why doesn't it come out of the mouth? The mouth's open. What's the tongue doing? How is it blocking the air? Where? Tell me where it's blocking the air. Okay, the teeth there, and the tongue is nesting inside the teeth. And it stops the air. Now this one. And this one. Now here's something interesting. Make this sound. With the voice. This one. With the voice. This and this together. With the voice. And this one. And with the voice. So, just to conclude, let me show you a nice little shortcut which just shows how few positions there are. Make this sound, this position. Don't speak, position. Instead of this, say this. See, it's the same position. You do something different, but the position is the same. Make the position again. Same position, but you do something else. So you've got three sounds in that position. Make this position, but don't speak. Same position, but you do something different. Make this position, don't speak. Same position, but you do something different. Make this position, don't speak. You release the tongue to let the air go through. Same position, do something different. Make this position, don't speak. Release the tongue, same position, air comes through the top, plus voice. So you've got 5 sounds there, 3 sounds here. Make this position. Make the position. Or 3. So 3 sounds, 5 sounds, 3. 11 sounds in 3 positions. Half the consonants, almost, in 3 positions. What's the problem with pronunciation? Where is the problem? Now, I'm just playing with sounds. What we're not going to do right now, because we're about to stop, is connecting them together into words, which of course is important for vocabulary, and adding the stress, which changes the vowel sounds, of course, because a stressed vowel can sound an unstressed vowel. And then most importantly of all, putting the words together to connect to speech, where once we've got the stress and the sense groups in place, we can add the intonation. But this is where I start. Quickly I move on to words, and quickly I move on to connected speech, which is the aim of the whole thing. But on this chart we can do everything. And just as in ballet, you go to watch the finished performance, but in practice they're going position 1, position 2, and then they connect them together. It's the same with we are connecting these together. This is not language, but we need to look at this in order to be able to connect them together quickly. Connecting the wrong sounds quickly does not give you the language. Okay, so
you can see that we with this chart we can make all the sounds